My brother framed me of rope 8 years ago, but the truth has finally been revealed. My brother Henry was always the golden child in the family. Growing up he could do no wrong. High school ended and I didn't complain much, but I felt I had to move out and explore things on my own as well. For the next few years, I went to college in a different city, and in 5 years got my MBA. I managed to land a job back in my home city. During this time, my contact with the family was minimal except for the birthdays and visiting them during the holidays. My brother was never the brightest of the bunch, since he barely managed to get through high school. He dropped out of college and my parents helped him set up a small shop dealing in hardware so he could get off his feet. I was happy for him, but I had my own life. I also had a girlfriend, Jenny, who I met in college and was from the same city. When we returned back home we moved in together. She was also able to find a job soon enough and we started to focus on our lives and each other. It was during the holidays of 2006 when I introduced my family to her. They were surprisingly warm and receptive towards her and also made me feel more love than I had experienced in the past 22 years of my life. I noticed my brother was looking at her during that entire gathering but thought nothing of it. Since then, he started frequenting my apartment a bit too often. We went from meeting each other once in 3 months, to almost daily very quickly. At that point I had to draw boundaries and tell him that he's welcome occasionally, but I did not like his presence in my place daily as he came during the evening when Jenny and I were both at home and tried to unwind after a hectic day from work. That erupted into a huge fight with my parents. In the end he apologized and said that he would not bother me. Then onwards he used to come only once a month on a weekend, which I was okay with, and made attempts to make small talk with Jenna, which was still fine by me as it never was anything beyond that. Things went on this way for some time and in 2009, I proposed to her and we announced our engagement to the entire family. My parents were happy for me, but my brother just shook my hand and left the small party I'd organized for this occasion. After that I didn't see him for a couple of weeks. We got married in 2010, during which I noted my brother had a +1 named Kate and he told us that he was dating her. I thought maybe now he could finally move past whatever feelings he had for Jenny and focus on his own life. They moved real fast too, getting married almost 9 months later in 2011. Our marriage was going great. We had our first daughter Alice in 2011 and the second one Sarah in 2013. However, my brother's marriage did not progress as they hoped to, and they separated in 2012. A few weeks after the divorce was finalized, Kate messaged me that Henry was obsessed with Jenny and that was the biggest reason for their separation. I apologized to her and wished her the best. I also talked to Jenny and asked her about her interactions with Kate, and she told me that Kate always was a bit cold and distant towards her from the get-go. I decided to confront my brother in front of my family and asked him why is he destroying his life because of his obsession with my wife. He was blindsided with that question and denied everything. We had a massive argument that basically ended with me forgiving my brother and telling him that he is no longer welcome in my house. Both my parents and Jenny talked to me and convinced me that no matter what he was still family. So for everyone's sake I decided to be amicable. It was then that it felt like he was genuinely working on himself and we went on with our lives. Fast forward to 2015, I can still recall that day vividly. It was the 25th July and I was running multiple errands. My wife took both our kids to see their grandparents. It was sometime after lunch that I got a call from my father, telling me to come to their home and had a lot of anger in his tone.